Hello and good afternoon and welcome back to Osijek for another day of competition. We're into the junior programme now. We've brushed aside the old money. The seniors have moved on. In terms of the televised events, anyway, we now turn our attention to the juniors. Well, we had a very dramatic men's 3P final earlier on today. We also had a new world record and therefore a new junior European record as well. So two records in one final. Will we see one here today? Well, here's hoping. My name is Rory McAllister. Thanks very much for coming along today. If you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, then thanks for joining us. If you're watching this back at a later time, then again, hello to you. So the women's 3P final for juniors at the European Championships coming up. So safety flags inserted, rifles out the ready. Hopefully you're ready too. Just a reminder of the details. 50 metres is the distance. The 10 ring, 10.4 millimetres wide. And a total of 35 shots in this new format, which I'll talk you through as we get on with things. First of all, here's how it finished in qualification. There's the classification of all the scores from first right down to 8th. And speaking of which, we can also have a look behind the scenes earlier at the qualification where our athletes were shooting out into the cold, wet Croatian rain. Brrr, it's cold. So normally around this time of year, the Croatian weather doesn't normally let us down. It doesn't really necessarily let us down, but the last few days have been pretty bright. Yesterday, however, the rain and the wind started to come. So that's just made things a little different. You can see the wind flags moving around as the athletes shoot out into the outdoors. Now the finals hall is completely full, standing room only. So the athletes this time will be shooting indoors in this 50-metre final. And if this is the first time you've seen the new format with the initial 22 minutes for the kneeling and prone section and the changeover for standing, I'll explain it to you as we go through the final. Meanwhile, one thing's for sure about a 3 positions final, it's still a grueling test of mental stability, again, mental discipline, and of course, physical ability. I think we've all needed a hug today, to be honest. It's quite cold. I'm actually wearing the CRO's jacket. Thank you, Petar Plavčić, our CRO. He's kept me from absolutely freezing. I can hardly feel my fingers. But do you know what? Doesn't matter, because we've got this final now to enjoy. And I certainly am pumped up. I hope you are too. Here we go with the introductions. Xenia Mund is first to arrive. Firing point H representing Germany. The Germans in fine voice. She was 7th in Seoul at the Junior World Cup last year. I remember being commentator that day. And this is her 3rd time at the European Championships. So Anete Tuška is next. And she's representing Latvia, her 5th time at the European Championships. And Anete Tuška was 6th in the 10-metre final in Burgas a few months ago. Well, Evelina Neumann will be next after. We've just had the introduction of Maja Gawenda of Poland. Here she is now, the 20-year-old on firing point F, a bronze medalist in Châteauroux in this very event last summer. So Evelina Neumann, representing Sweden, gets a big cheer from the Swedish supporters. This is her 6th time at the European Championships, a bronze medalist in the 3P as a junior in the Junior World Cup in Cairo earlier this year. And Dominika Skorupska of Poland is next, one of the elder juniors in this final. 6th time at the European Championship, and competed in the Lima World Championships and also in Tallinn, Châteauroux, Burgas, Győr and Osijek before. Well, very rarely a rifle final without someone from Czechia. Here's Anna Dubska, competed in Burgas a few months ago when we were there in Bulgaria. So we've seen 2 Polish athletes so far. Here's the second of our Germans. This is Finja Rentmeister, a bronze medalist in Wrocław in the 3 position as a junior in 2022. And Alina Schmidt is the last athlete to complete our lineup. Also competed in Burgas a few months ago and here in Osijek 2 years ago, 2024. So we do also have the current European champion across 50-metre prone women junior, and that's Maja Gawenda of Poland, who is on firing point F. And as our jury get their introduction, and next the man who lent me his jacket. Well, this afternoon, he's my best friend. Thank you, Petter. I'm now warm. Can't believe it actually fits, to be fair. He's a very slender man, Petr Plavčić. I'm quite proud, really. I've been able to fit into his jacket, but there we are. The top half certainly insulated. If you hear me rubbing my hands together, that's just me getting warm. Right, well, the heat is about to be turned up here as we get underway with the 50-metre rifle 3-position women juniors final live in Croatia at the European Shooting Championships. So the 5-minute preparation and sighting time, that's as normal, that hasn't changed. Otherwise, the major change is that we now have 22 minutes once this sighting time is up. The athletes will take 10 shots in kneeling. They then change over whenever they're ready to take 10 shots in prone. They then do the changeover for standing and try and get as many sighting shots in as possible within the 22-minute time limit. That then takes us to a total of 20 shots. Then we have 2 series of 5 shots in standing, each with a shot clock of 4 minutes 10, like in the old days. Once we get to 30 shots, we then say goodbye. Double elimination, no change there. 8th and 7th place will leave. And then we have single shots till shot 35 with eliminations, and then to decide the medals. So the European Junior record that was set in Cairo last month stands at 3:54.0. Meanwhile, the world record that was set in New Delhi at the Asian Championships earlier on in 2026 stands at 3:58.2. So a 4.2 difference between the world and European Junior records. Well, clearly there's been a change of coaching last minute. Paul Lahm was the coach for the men junior final. Not the case for this women's final. So if you're joining us on YouTube, thanks for coming along. Do like and subscribe to the ESC video stream and hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll get a little pop-up banner telling you when we're about to go live. If you're on Facebook, you can like the video, leave your comments, share them around on social media, spread the word and the love of shooting sport. Well, local time here in Croatia, 5:40 p.m. So approaching the evening. And whatever time it is where you're watching around the world, hello to you. If you're watching this back at another time, then we do also like to say hello and recognise that you weren't able to join us live, but you come back another time, which is great. So just over 2 minutes to go. It's just taking as many sighting shots as they can. And here's the preparation area. Just a sneak peek behind the scenes. You just see here the jury giving their briefings. Most of these athletes are pretty well versed in what's going to happen, but for some it's a big occasion. It may be their first European Championships. And it's always good to go over the rules, particularly when there's been a format change, like now. Not so used to the 3 positions as it was. And been changed ahead of the Los Angeles Olympic Games, which is in just over 2 years' time. Starts on the 16th of July from memory. It's a bit earlier this year. Normally the Olympics would go and start at the end of July into August. This time the Olympics will start mid-July. Well, we didn't have any shoot-offs in the last final. Christina, our announcer, just explaining the new rules to the crowd who have gathered here. It's pretty packed as well, standing room only, just looking around. Great to see so many people gathered here for this final, considering it is late in the day. So not long now before we get going in this 3-position women juniors final. Who are you here to support? Do put your comments of support in the right place. So 2 athletes from Poland, 2 from Germany, Latvia, Sweden, and Switzerland make up the rest of the lineup. So there's no restriction on rifle length, which is why you see different lengths of these small bore rifles in this final.
Finalists have 22 minutes to fire 10 shots in each of the kneeling and throw position and prepare for the standing position. Match firing starts.
So targeted computers have been switched to match mode. We're underway. 22 minutes is the new time limit. And who here can establish a good start? 10.9 being the highest individual score. So in the old days, when we used to do it over the first 5 series, you'd be looking really for a total of around 52. So in this instance, in the 10-shot series, 104 really is what you're aiming for to stand a chance to be up there with the leaders. That's what happened in the men's final. Well, some nice grouping from Skorupska at the moment, even the last shot being a 9.9. 10.8 from Neumann. Govender after 5 shots, a total of 51.8, so that's on course. That's a decent average. So looking like Govender, Dubska, Neumann will be some of the first to finish this first series of 10 shots. It's a slightly slower pace than the men's final. We had some of the athletes who are done with the kneeling position by the time we even got to now, 19.5 minutes left. Still, it's all about the overall score. Most of the men were up on their feet and taking sighting shots with about 4.5 minutes to go. But if you feel no real rush for that, then you can take your time a little bit more. So safety flag goes in for Govenda. Decent total, 102.1. And she'll begin her changeover. Likewise, Rentmeister is still going the slowest of the competitors. She's got 4 shots left for the German. Dubska already now back to the equipment box on firing point C. Well, Kisha, 1 to go. Mund, 1 shot left. Rentmeister on firing point B. Just doing her own final in her own pace. 2 shots left for the German. Now Finja just makes sure she doesn't rush this last one. Last shot was a 10.3. So we'll want to go out in a bit of style here. And the final shot is a 10.5. Great way to finish the kneeling. Loads for the next shot, but then starts to begin the changeover and is the final athlete to do so. So this is where the butt plates get changed. And also the sights get adjusted as well, because you're in a different position coming from kneeling into prone. Some of our athletes are already down on the mat. So Govenda of Poland, who was the competition leader behind Dubska. Govenda on 102.1, Dubska on 102.9. So there's how it stands from first right down to 8th. So just 2 athletes below 100, the rest 104 or above. So those athletes who are down on the prone position would have switched their computers to sighting shots. And then it's entirely up to them whether they want to switch back to competition. So the prone position, we'd expect to see some slightly higher scores in terms of series. And we'll see now if some of these athletes can get a total nearing 105, if they can. You really want to sort of be averaging around a 10.5 in the prone position, ideally, in an ideal world. But of course, we don't live in an ideal world, we just try to. So under 14.5 minutes now left in this new format, this new way of doing the 3 positions final. And now will we see some records go? We had a new world record in the men's final, therefore a new European junior record as well, because we hadn't had one set. And both records went at once. So the straps there just to aid with stability. You can use those in kneeling and in prone. There's no straps allowed when it comes to standing. You see the sights are an awful lot lower than they were for kneeling. So Dubska up and running, 10.3. Skrupska with 2 10.6s in a row. World-class shooting. Well, some decent grouping from Skrupska. Last shot was a 10.2. Dubska having a good series so far. Another shot in the 10 ring, a high 10, 10.7. Now, if Rentmeister can get that shot right in the centre, as what's happened in the sighting series, that's going to do her chances in prone no end of good. That's what you want, dead centre. Under 12 minutes now. 10.7 from Skrupska, now 10.6. Real decent grouping from the Polish athlete. Really good. Now Mund has now began her prone series. The first of 10 shots goes in, it's a 10.6. Who's got another shot in the 10s, 10.5. 10.9 from Neumann of Sweden, followed by a 10.5. Look at the stillness. Bit of recoil there. Great technique. So Skrupska, last shot, 10.5. And a series total of 105.1. Now that's what you want in prone. An average of 10.5. That's what we were alluding to earlier on. And Skrupska has come up with the goods. Now on a total of 205.7 and getting a shift on. Wasting no time at all. Valuable seconds tick away. Now Skrupska here is trying to get up into the standing position to give herself at least 5 minutes, I would think, of sighting shots going into the trickiest part of the 3-position final. So the multi-tool is out. Again, you'll see that the athletes have no assistance here. They've just got to get this drill down and rehearsed. with this new format as well, it's also a mental case of just blocking out what's going on around you, because the changeovers all used to happen at the same time. The shot clock will get started at a 9-minute changeover, then a 7-minute changeover, and you'd all be doing it at the same time. Whereas now, you're aware that athletes are perhaps behind you, already getting ready for standing. You're maybe still down on the prone mat. Just adds another mental side and another bit of mental strength and composure to this new 3 positions format. So Dubska hit a series of 103.1. Skorupka with 105.1. That's been the highest so far. More results still coming in. Schmidt with a 104.7. Govender 102. And Neumann 102.8. Well, all athletes now about to finish, because just looking down, and Annette Tukisha has now begun her changeover. So the prone position now finished for all of the athletes. Some already deep into their changeover for standing. And then Dubska, for example, wasted hardly any time at all. Here's how it stands then after 20 shots. It's Anna Dubska at the top, 206.0. Skorupka not too far behind, 0.3 of a difference, 205.7, and then a 0.6 difference down to Alina Schmidt of Switzerland in 3rd place. Well, this has been a lot quicker than the men. 6.5 minutes to go of sighting shots. And some of the centre athletes already up and running. So positions C, D, E and F. So Dubska, Skorupka, Neumann and Govender are already about to take sighting shots. So if you have just joined us, welcome along. We're deep into the 3 positions final for the women junior across 50 metres at the European Shooting Championships 2026. 4 fine days of competition into day 5 now. And a packed schedule still to come over this week, and then culminating also in the double up of not only the indoor events in here, but also the under-18 shotgun European Championships, which will be taking place outside, of course. I mean, doing shotgun indoors, that's not going to work, is it? So that sounded like the olden days, didn't it? When we had the 5 minutes of preparation and sighting time. It's pretty much now what's going on. So if you have just come along on YouTube, hello and welcome. Do like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for updates on when we go live with our transmissions. And if you're on Facebook, then you can leave your comments of support. Share the videos as well, not only on your own feed, but amongst your friends and the people you know. Just spread the love. So standing now, this is where we'll separate the medalists from those who will miss out on a place on the podium. Standing position of a 3 positions final really is the key that sets it apart. It's not always the case, depends how strong an athlete is in the standing position. So Jens Uslev, for example, pretty decent standing and all round, and proved that earlier on today. So once this 3.5 minutes is up, that's the end of the sighting shots in standing. And then the athletes can get on with 2 series of 5 shots, like in the olden days, with a shot clock of 4 minutes 10. So we're up to 20 shots. We have another 15 to go. 2 series of 5 to take us to a total of 30. Then 2 eliminations, as we used to do. That doesn't change. 8th and 7th place will leave at once. And then single shots and single eliminations. It all gets pretty heated. And a maximum of 35 shots to decide the gold and silver. If, of course, there's a tie, then we will have shoot-offs. 2.5 minutes left. Plenty of mental focus required at this stage of a 3 positions final. Staying in control of the heart rate. Again, like that, getting into the standing position and just waiting for the heart rate to lower. And then try and get into the zone and use those sighting shots to get yourself ready and prepared for when it becomes match time. So just a reminder of what's coming up tomorrow. We have just one final for you tomorrow on day 6. 12:15 local time. It's another 50-meter rifle event. It's the 3-position duet junior. We had a classic across both finals with the seniors, so hopefully the juniors can do the same. So 12:15 local time here in Osijek, Croatia for the 50-meter rifle 3 positions duet junior. The only final on the schedule tomorrow. It then does get a bit busier from then on in on Thursday. We have 2 3P trio events, both with the men and women junior, and also the first of our pistol events with the 25-meter pistol duet. No finals on Friday, and then more pistol events over the weekend. And into next week, we will then also start the under-18 shotgun outside. So we are just approaching the 30-second reminder from the Chief Range Officer that everything's about to get serious. We're heading now towards the eliminations and then down to the business end of this final when we decide the podium and the medals.
30 seconds.
It's almost showtime once again. So Anna Dubska leads the way, 206.0, 0.3 behind Skorupska of Poland. And then on 205.1, we've got Alina Schmid of Switzerland. They are the top 3.
Stop.
So are you ready? This is when it gets really interesting. The standing position. Nowhere near as much stability as you get with kneeling and prone. No wrist straps. Yes, you've got the rifle rest, as there is a bit of an aid, but again, the rules state the rifle rest can be no higher than your own shoulder. That's why you see them there at various different heights. So here we go, 4 minutes 10. So just a regular 5-shot series this time. The athletes looking to get in and around 52 as a total, if they can get that high. Some shots in the 9 rings. A 10.5 from Govenda's a really impressive opening shot in the standing position of this final. A 10.7 from Mund. And this is where the scoreboard can flick around quite a bit. A 10.8 from Rentmeister. So the two Germans looking good. More shots in the mid-10s. 10.5 from Takisha. Another decent shot from Mund, 10.4. So just looking at Rentmeister now with a second shot this time, it's a 9.6. .7 from Schmidt down at the other end on firing point A. The breath control so important here. Well, I mean, as it is in the other positions, but particularly now here in standing. Because those slightest movements change a 10 ring into a 9. So Takisha, 10.8. And hits a series of 51.0 for the Latvian. .8 series total from Govenda. Last shot was a 10.7. So firing points A and B now to complete. Schmidt down on firing point A. Last shot 10.5, so wants to keep it there. Currently on 40.9 for the series. And now Rentmeister last to go, who's had a bit of a mixed series. There's been some shots there into the 10s, and that last one's a 10.3. That's a great confidence boost for her going into the next series of 5. So 51.4 from Mund was the highest of that 5-shot series. And here's how it's affected the scoreboard. Anna Dubska at the top, and Schmid of Switzerland in second, and Skorupka of Poland in third place. So Neumann and Takisha with some work to do. We have a double elimination coming up now after the next 5 shots. Another 4 minutes 10, and destiny will be decided. So who will stay and who will leave? There's not that much of a difference, really, considering winter standing, between Neumann in 8th and Mund in 6th. You've got to think as well that Mund had a 51.4 series, it was the highest, and is still in 6th place. It just shows you how a 3-position final pans out and how it works. .5s, 10.7s. Great stuff. Well, a long and grueling day. Time has gone 10 past 6 in the evening. It's 6:11. Just a few shots left now for some of our athletes in this second 5-shot series, edging us ever closer to the first double elimination. .8 from Skorupska, great last shot. Has one more to go in this series. Some high 10s coming in elsewhere as well. Rentmeister 10.6, Takisha 10.5. And Mund closes out that second series of 5 with a 10.7. So that means Mund's had 2 series that have both been in the 51 marker. 51.4 and then 51.1 in that last series of 5. So Neumann now to complete this one. This time Rentmeister not the slowest. And Neumann finishes with a 9.5. So now we have our first double elimination, and Neumann of Sweden will be leaving in 8th place, which means Takisha from Latvia will also be leaving in 7th place. So in this new format, no change with the double elimination. That's how it always used to be. And it used to come after 40 shots rather than 30. But Evelina Neumann of Sweden, 20 years old, a bronze medalist in the 3 positions as a junior in the Junior World Cup earlier on this year, now leaves this final in 8th place. Meanwhile, Aneta Takisha of Latvia, 18 years old, plenty of room left in her junior career. Was 6th in the 10-metre final in Burgas a few months ago, and now leaves this 3-position final at the European Championships in 7th. So here's where the eliminations now come thick and fast. 50 seconds is your shot clock time. And the athletes now know that after each individual shot, an elimination is imminent. And Xenia Mund of Germany on a 302.1. Needs a bit of a miracle here to try and stay in. A 10, decent shot. So Xenia Mund will now be leaving. She finished 2.1 behind on a total of 312.1. And Alina Schmidt of Switzerland managed to survive that elimination process. So the first of the 2 Germans now leaves. Xenia Mund finishes this final in 6th. It's her 3rd European Championships. She made the final of the 10 metres at the Junior World Cup in Seoul last summer, and I'm sure we'll be back in another final very soon. So 5 athletes left, a tie for 4th place. Schmidt and Rentmeister both on 314.2. Dubska, Gavenda and Skorupska are the top 3. .6 from Skorupska. Great shot. Dubska 9.3. Rentmeister 10.6. A 10 and a 9.6 make up the other shots, and Alina Schmidt of Switzerland will now be leaving in 5th. So firing point A. Alina, who competed in Burgas earlier this year and here in Osijek a few years ago at the European Championships, now leaves this 3 positions final in 5th place.
For the next competition shot, Low.
So another 50 seconds now to decide the podium. Fourth place, no prize, just some pride. Look at that from Govenda, 10.8, Skrupska with a 10.7. Some really impressive stuff here. Rentmeister with a 9, means she finishes in 4th place, the second German to leave the final. So Finja Rentmeister will not make the podium, but has made this final. Has done ever so well to get here. And I'm sure we'll take that experience forward into a future final. She was bronze medalist in Wrocław in the 3 positions as a junior in 2022, and now just misses out ever so narrowly on a place on the podium. And Finja Rentmeister of Germany leaves in 4th place. So the podium will be Czechia, Poland. Poland guaranteed the 2 medals. But what colour? Well, let's see. This is for the bronze medal. The crowd getting involved, making themselves known, and led on and cheerleaded by our announcer Christina. Well, some 10.4s, a 9.7 from Dubska, which means the bronze medal is guaranteed. Dubska finishes on a total of 345.0, so Czechia have a medal. And Anna Dubska will take the bronze medal back to her home country, with still plenty more events still to come at this European Championships. I would not be surprised if we see her once again in a medal match and another final. So there's 0.6 between Govenda and Skrupska. Both Polish athletes know each other very well, and now shooting against each other for the gold medal. Now, there is a chance the world record could go here. 358.2. Let's see what Skrupska can hit. Wow, it's a 9.6. A 10.6 from Govenda, but she's done it. New junior world record and European record at the same time. Well, she looked good for most of the final, to be honest. And Maja Govenda from Poland, who was a bronze medalist in Châteauroux in the 3P last summer. She's also the current European champion across 50-metre prone. She took that title last summer. Now leaves with a gold medal and 2 world records. 358.7 for a new junior and world European records. A great effort from Skrupska, pushed her all the way to the end. And that final shot of a 9.6 up against a 10.6 just slipped her down into 2nd place. So now the official announcements. Anna Dubska of Czechia announced as the bronze medalist. And Dominika Skrupska, in her 6th European Championships, has now come along and bagged the silver medal in the 3 positions final. And Maja Magdalena Govenda of Poland has upgraded from the bronze medal in Châteauroux in the 3 positions last summer, and now makes it a gold, and also 2 records, European junior record and the world record, which now stands at 358.7. Well, more records have gone, a double world record in both finals. It shows you the standard we've got here at the European Shooting Championships. Of course, the history books have been reset since we changed the rules for 3 positions, but nonetheless, it's always great to be there to see a world record happening right in front of you. Well, we just have one final for you tomorrow at 12:15, the 50-metre rifle 3 positions duet junior. In the meantime, we're just going to leave you with classification of how that finished from the gold medalist right down to 8th place. So Czechia with the bronze, Poland with the silver and gold. And now we'll leave you with a recap and some highlights of that gold medal match we've just seen. Do stay with us, enjoy the highlights. Thanks very much for joining us. And so we're back tomorrow with another live final, 12:15 local time for the 50-metre 3 positions duet junior on day 6 of the European Championships. Live for you here in Osijek, Croatia.